In 1873, an international exhibition of inventions in Vienna failed because exhibitors feared their ideas would be stolen and exploited. The fiasco led to a system of legal protection for ideas and inventions, things like copyright, patents, and trade secrets. Today, it's the World Intellectual Property Organization, here in Geneva, that safeguards works of the mind. Works of the mind have become key to world trade. In this new knowledge economy, the World Trade Organization enforces the law on intellectual property. But can such a setup be fair to everybody? How can it be applied to the billions of people in the developing world? Anil Gupta has made it his life's work to find out.
My commitment is to the creative people, people who are doing something new without any outside help. The skills and knowledge that they have is not priced by the market properly. Knowledge is a resource. If their knowledge is priced properly, they wouldn't be poor.
Anil Gupta is a professor at the Indian Institute of Management in Ahmedabad. His mission: recognition and reward for creative rural people. It's a mission that takes him all over the world, but it starts here in Gujarat, in Western India.
We are trying to trigger the spirit of experimentation, which is very crucial for any society to become self-reliant.
Long before the World Trade Organization was set up, Anil Gupta went in search of grassroots innovators.
Well, we are walking from place to place, talking to the farmers, part of a Shodh Yatra, which is essentially to discover the local genius which is there in the villages, people who solve their problems through their own genius.
Every 6 months, Anil goes on a pilgrimage, walking from village to village in search of inventions, knowledge and innovation. Jabai is a retired school teacher who's been inventing devices for nearly 40 years.
This is a small seat. Students have to wait for the bus for quite a long time to go to school or college. At that time they can sit on this so that they don't get tired. This is a kind of cooker. It can save 30 to 40% of firewood. It also saves time. I have developed this simple cooker for poor people. This is a hold. This is a hold for the women fetching water. If you are tired, then you can shift the burden from head to shoulders by setting these legs on the shoulders. This tool is a kitano. It is useful in nurseries. This tool can fill a bag in one go. This is a sprayer. It consumes less pesticide and it sprays pesticide more effectively. It is easy. Even women and children can use it. It's cheap in price, so people can buy it.
Khimji Bhai, the innovations that are available with him, only a few are being commercialized by him extensively. And he mentioned about his sprayer, for instance. The rest, he has done them for solving problems of people at large. And if anybody wishes to benefit from them, they're most welcome.
I'm only an inventor. I can develop and give you a model. Based on that, you can get it produced in the market, sell it or use it yourself. You earn. I don't want to earn. I have only one objective, and that is to see where people are facing problems.
In the case of sprayer, the patent has been filed essentially to ensure that if that technology could be licensed to somebody else who would like to be an entrepreneur, that entrepreneur would like to have right to exclude others from copying the manufacturing of the sprayer.
A patent means an inventor owns the idea. He can sell it as a license for somebody else to make money from it. But if the idea is a traditional design, then there's the concept of geographical indication. Champagne, for instance, can only come from Champagne. And the same should be true of Patan Patola silk. Patola silk has been woven in Patan, Gujarat for at least 800 years. The perfection involved in its creation is a skill handed down through generations of weaving families. Now that tradition is in danger of dying out. Without protection, the intense effort is becoming hard to justify economically.
See, this is the raw silk. This thread is very thin, so we make it 8 ply. This is the loom. Loom is very old, more than 50 years. This is the Patola sari, and it is traditional design, not new design. To prepare this sari, it takes 4 months, and the cost of the sari, 1,20,000 rupees. It means about $2,800 US.
I think this is a product which has a future, and we should have a registry of all geographically indicated products. And if Patan Patola silk is known around the world, not only as sari but also as dressing material, as material for various other uses, then there could be a global demand for silk fabric dyed with vegetative dyes.
The Patan Patola silk style is being cheaply imitated elsewhere, and unless copyright protection can be applied to encourage the next generation to continue, the future of the genuine traditional article looks bleak.
In this period, it is very difficult to protect. Only we can maintain our work, our quality, our real art. We can do only that.
One form of knowledge is even harder to protect. Most people in the villages rely on traditional healers, and Anil, on his Shadiyatra pilgrimage, rewards those who are most highly regarded. 90-year-old Barbad has looked after his village all his life. Few can imagine life without him. He refuses all payment for dispensing care, but now there's no one to pass on the knowledge to.
We gave them, as a mark of our respect and recognition, a certificate of honor, so that the younger children feel that this is a tradition worth continuing, and they will feel encouraged and enthused.
Over 100 kilometers away, in the dry north of Gujarat, is another healer who Anil particularly reveres. This man thinks he has discovered a cure for diabetes. His remedy is currently being scientifically tested to see if it can be patented. He also knows the antidotes to poisonous pythons. Karimbai inherited and developed his intimate knowledge of barks, roots, leaves and flowers through his success at curing growing numbers of patients.
This bark, malkangni, can be used to cure mentally ill people. Its seeds, or if the seeds cannot be found, then its bark weighing 100 grams should be boiled in 500 grams of water, till the water is reduced to 50 grams. Give that water to any mentally ill person in 2 parts, and he will be cured in 10 days. Our knowledge is traditional. My father also had this knowledge. I got my training from him. And now my children are also gaining knowledge from me. So when they grow up, they will also benefit.
Karimbai used to live here. He was a potter and used to give away his herbal cures, because to him, caring for people has nothing to do with making money from them.
Human beings who God created are very important to me. No amount of money can be compared with the value of a human life.
The making and dispensing of remedies has become full-time. A burgeoning clientele and the need to encourage his sons now means Karimbai accepts payment from those who can afford to pay. One rich patient from Mumbai even insisted that he install a phone. Traditional knowledge has become a way of earning a good living, and that fact has interested Karimbai's sons.
If you look at it that way, the children really felt they should not lose the knowledge. They also took great care. Knowledge is bigger than money. Knowledge protects us and the entire world, and it is a great thing. Yes, I have benefited from this, but the people who were suffering from different diseases and came to me also benefited. They are all cured.
India, like other developing countries, wants traditional or community knowledge to have legal protection.
I've heard many times that community knowledge is commonly known to people. How can individuals be rewarded? How can individuals be recognized? Why should there be asymmetry in terms of our responsibility and in terms of the rights that we should belong to the people as well as community? But mind you, there's only one Karimbai in that village.
The village knowledge is being held in trust in a living library. Karimbai worked with Anil to establish a knowledge forest, a nature reserve to preserve medicinal plants and local biodiversity. The trouble is, the young aren't always so interested.
Young people do not want to emulate their elders who had tremendous knowledge and conserved these resources for so long, because they would like to generate more options for them, which possibly they see outside in the cities maybe. We are trying to identify the local genius, the unsung heroes, the young genius. And we have come across children who by the age of 12 have been able to identify their names and uses for as many as 300 plants. And just because this knowledge is not being valued properly by the education system, they are getting dropped out.
Drop out or not, Anil Shristi organization holds biodiversity contests to encourage the young to show off their knowledge of plants.
Here are kids who have a natural aptitude for knowing environment, ecology and biodiversity, and they become dropout.
These contests mean that having lots of knowledge about plant species is seen by everybody as important, not least because you get lots of prizes.
We do not want children of these areas to become so-called unskilled laborers. They have tremendous skill, a skill which the whole world needs. You know, it's extremely important to remember that the regions which are very rich in biodiversity are extremely poor economically. And one reason why they are poor is because the market is not able to price the knowledge in which they are rich.
Sometimes that biodiversity knowledge does at least start to pay off. Some farmers have been able to spot very special crop varieties.
The nuts of the variety contain more oil, and this benefits the millers and the farmers, so we get better prices, and the size of these nuts is bigger.
If farmers are investing their own resources in variety selection, could and should patent laws be used to protect and so encourage farmers like Fakshibai?
Yes, I should get the return for my invention. I should get that protection. If the cricket team wins, the government gives them many prizes. So why not me?
You know, in a field there may be a few million plants. It requires a tremendously penetrating, discerning eye to notice a plant, one or two plants in a field full of millions. So you are in some sense concentrating the desirable characteristics over a period of 5, 7, 8 years. So I would say there is a tremendous investment that he has made in selecting this plant and developing this into a variety which has become so popular in neighboring region that there is a big demand now.
Multiben fell in love with her disabled husband when she was 16. Theirs was a hard life of little income, but she managed to buy 2 calves and rear them on farm waste, sugarcane and salt. She ignored convention and developed her own ways of increasing milk production.
She is sabar, meaning a deer, because when she runs, she jumps like a deer. She also gives a good amount of milk. Her name is Kajal, because there is no white spot on her body. This is Krishna. She is a big cow. She gives good milk. She is Jamuna. She is named after the holy river of Jamuna. Her name is Manik. She is very dear to me, like a jewel. So her name is Manik. She is just like a jewel. So that's why I call her Manik. Her name is Darshna. She is faultless. She has a calf every year. She has had 12 to 13 cows. She is very healthy. We can't understand how she has given birth so many times. She has never fallen sick. She always takes her food. So we feel from the core of our hearts that this cow should be worshipped. So we named her Darshna. Whatever the cattle demand according to nature's laws, we should provide it. It is like a relationship of a mother with a small baby who cannot speak. A mother could be able to solve her problems. Whether she is hungry, thirsty, sick, whatever she is suffering from, a mother would soon understand.
Malti Bahan is an extraordinary woman. She began with 2 calves 25 years ago. And today, Malti Bahan is one of the most efficient, most profitable dairy farmers. She has about $14,000 a year income from her 25 buffaloes. She could do this because she has made small innovation in many processes. Right from the sanitation and hygiene that she follows for the animals, to improvements in the watering system. She has made small improvements in each of this process. So HEART is a system level innovation and not just a small technical innovation.
System level innovation is difficult to patent, but some inventions are altogether more patently obvious. Bullocks are becoming harder to keep in drought-prone Saurashtra. Asked by villagers, Mansukbai saw a way of replacing bullocks with an Enfield motorcycle and a pair of rear wheels to draw a toolbar that can plough, weed or sow seeds. Mansukbai was keen to show off his invention, but he had to borrow a customer's machine because he sold all the machines he's made.
I don't mind if people copy my invention. I still got my customers.
Mansukbai doesn't yet worry about patent protection. He can only build 50 machines a year. He says he's glad farmers are benefiting, but he does worry his market will be threatened in the future.
Should such an inventor be destined to only dream small, dream local rather than global? To expect that person to dream anything more will be, at this moment, naive on our part because he has not been exposed to anything. So therefore, let us not blame him for his lack of imagination and lack of dreams about what all could. I mean, he could think about a plant like a Ford Motors. Why not?
One of Anil's innovators is further down the line and seriously ready for manufacture. May the 31st, 2001 is an auspicious day for Banjibai and his family. Just arrived from the factory is his production prototype mini tractor.
Because of the hydraulic system, time is not wasted by plowing the fields. This tractor is more convenient for small farmers. Only big farmers can afford big tractors. Small farmers have smaller fields. So this kind of a small tractor would be within their reach. This tractor is of 10 horsepower, which the farmers prefer.
You might call it my incorrigible optimism, but I see a great future for this tractor all over the world because I don't see anybody looking at this need. And my reason for hope is also the fact that this innovation has been designed by a grassroots person, a farmer who knows the problem that arises in the field.
Starting over 12 years ago, Banjibai, his son and his nephews first developed a 3-wheel tractor. There followed a whole series of prototypes, many of which were sold to farmers in the village. The local police at one stage impounded one of the tractors because it lacked certification. Banjibai has accepted the need for professional help. A design consultant has helped redesign the prototype so that it can be certified and is suitable for mass production.
Banjibai and his nephew and his son kept involved themselves in the process of fabrication. So it was a crucible, so to say, of creativity in which the formal design and the informal design, in the formal knowledge and the informal knowledge were blending together to generate the design that has come out now.
But in the global marketplace, what are the chances of people like Banjibai reaching the world and selling his mini tractor? Taking the message with him on his laptop computer, Anil now travels the globe to get justice for rural innovators. But in Geneva, intellectual property rights, the World Trade Organization and the TRIPS Agreement present a very different world.
Against intellectual property rights, at least for us, it should not. No international law exists which says you should charge, you should fleece your people.
Here it's vested interests, conflicting views and legal terms. Any country wanting to benefit from the World Trade Organization has to sign up to TRIPS, the Trade-Related Intellectual Property Rights Agreement. The TRIPS agreement was written by the highly industrialized nations, trying to attach value to what is now the most important part of the world trading system, the knowledge economy. Up until now, in the corridors of power, concepts like traditional knowledge weren't considered relevant.
TRIPS agreement doesn't deal with traditional knowledge as such. The issue was not raised during the TRIPS negotiations by any countries. However, the forms of intellectual property protection which the TRIPS agreement does deal with do provide some means by which local communities, indigenous peoples can protect their traditional knowledge.
These are solutions by the people themselves. And the whole scientific enterprise, scientific establishment, will have to become humble. We'll have to generate humility to join hands with these people. This is probably too much that I'm asking for.
Traditional knowledge is the expression of a collectivity of authorship. And how do you ascribe rights? Who enjoys those rights and how do they enforce them? We are very individualistic about our relationship to creation and invention. It is owned by a person or indeed a corporation that pays for the research.
The developing nations might want the WTO and WIPO to discuss traditional knowledge, but it's only likely to happen as a trade-off for a stronger implementation of patent laws, and that's not likely to help Anil.
As someone who believes very strongly in the knowledge of the people and creative potential of the grassroots, I will try every option possible. For me, there is no untouchable. So long as my values are intact, I don't care. You might ask, why am I spending time with World Business Council then? Well, I think basically it's a small corridor of hope which is available here to try whether the corporate leaders will change. But I must be realistic and pragmatic enough to say that I have more faith in civil society than the corporate leadership.
What an angle.
Yes.